Meteorologist Nathan Kitchens here with convective weather with a video update on this Tuesday, September the 13th, 2016. Let's get started and take a look at the upper level maps. We're still dealing with this upper level ridge here across the south, a little wave here, easterly wave here in parts of Louisiana. We also have a disturbance out here just off of near Daytona Beach, Florida, bringing some very, very heavy rain potentially to parts of Florida over the coming days. And we have a nice upper level low here across the parts of Northern California that'll eventually eject out towards the upper plains as we head towards about Thursday. Looking at the, sorry, I got off the full screen here. Looking at the current temperatures across the United States, the lower 48. Hey, how about some cool, crisp fall weather? We got that up here in the Rockies, 40s and 50s. Even had some frost advisories through here. I know Regina, Saskatchewan had lows around freezing this morning, I believe. In fact, they had their first frost, which is right around their average. September 12th was actually their first average first frost of the year up there. So pretty normal for this time of year up there. But across the south, we just can't shake this ridge, I tell you. It's still hot. Across that area, no surprise though, it's still September. I mean, that's normal, just normal weather. And of course, very warm continuing across the eastern United States with the warm temperatures out that way. Looking at the current alerts across the country, fairly quiet. We do have some, looks like some severe weather watches here, or warnings down here towards Florida. And we may even see some tropical advisories posted later today with this disturbance out there. And looking at the rest of the United States, very quiet across the eastern half of the country with that broad high pressure in place. We do have some frost advisories here in portions of northern Minnesota associated with that strong high pressure that's going to come in behind that frontal boundary that's straight through here as we go through later on tonight and into tomorrow. Some nice, cool, crisp air up that way. That's for sure. Red flag warnings parts of Utah and Nevada. And more frost advisories out here in parts of the higher elevations of Wyoming. Really very common for this time of the year. Okay, forecast surface map as we go throughout the afternoon. We have a frontal boundary right through here across the Midwest. And it stretches down and kind of curves out through the Rockies, central Rockies, with showers and storms possible today across parts of Utah, Nevada. Even could see some hail and some gusty winds with some of those storms out that way. And general pop-ups here across the south with the typical summertime setup that you guys see. And then a good chance of showers and storms here across parts of Florida associated with that disturbance there near Daytona Beach. Looking at the severe weather outlook for today, we have a marginal risk across parts of southeast Georgia and northeast Florida. 5% risk for wind threat, 5% wind threat, I should say, within 25 miles of a given point. And we also have a 2% tornado probability there with just a little bit of spin in the atmosphere, and a marginal risk across a good part of Utah and into Nevada as well. As we go throughout the afternoon and evening, hail and wind would be the threats there. Again, no widespread severe weather is expected. How about tomorrow? General thunderstorms across a large part of the United States in the light green. And we have marginal risk here across parts of New England from about Boston to Portland, Maine. Looking at the threat for Thursday, we have a larger, broader marginal risk across the central plains associated with that upper level low. It's going to come out of the Rockies there, bringing some better shear and uplift for storms. We'll have some cold and dry air evecting into mid levels of the atmosphere that will aid in a more buoyant atmosphere for showers and storms to develop. And we may even see this upgraded to a slight risk as we get closer and confidence increases. How about rainfall over the next 5 days? Some decent totals across parts of Texas here, from Lubbock up towards Amarillo, even in Oklahoma City. Some 2, 3 inch, maybe 4 inch amounts. Obviously, with thunderstorms, you can get higher amounts. And you can see generally very little rain across the mid-south and over towards the Appalachians and mid-Atlantic. Very quiet. Some active times here going forward across parts of the Midwest and up into the Great Lakes with some fairly decent totals, nothing too substantial. And then across parts of the Rockies, some areas will certainly get hit with some decent showers over the coming days. And of course, there's that bullseye across Florida that we're watching. Some very heavy rain near Jacksonville. That's a bullseye with about 6 to as much as 8 inches of rain across that area of far along the coast there of northeast Florida there around Jacksonville. Some very heavy rain, and this goes up to Savannah, Georgia as well. You guys will certainly be getting hit with some heavy rainfall over the coming days. Looking at the tropics, how about the tropics? We have Tropical Storm Ian which you might have heard about. Again, this storm is in the middle of the Atlantic. No threat to land. It will not be tracking towards land. It's going to stay out in the open water. Only a threat for the mariners and boaters out there. We have this disturbance here, just off the coast here. It's near Daytona Beach. I will say they did upgrade the percent probability here to 40% chance. I believe earlier it was actually a 0% chance of development, but now they're giving it a 40% chance that this could develop into a tropical type system here. So we're watching this one here, just off the coast of Florida. Then we also have a wave coming off the just coming off of Africa now. So we have 3 features basically that we're watching in the Atlantic. And how about Ian? Again, no threat to land, just a fish storm. Only a threat for boaters out there. It will stay a tropical storm over the coming days. Eventually, as it moves north, colder water will become more of an extra tropical type feature. But again, no threat to land. How about this storm? This is a big storm. Where is this? This is in the Western Pacific. This is approaching Taiwan. This is Super Typhoon Marathi. And look at that defined eye, beautiful, beautiful storm, very, very powerful storm at that, across that part of the world. This will head towards southern Taiwan. The track of this thing, if there's any good news, it is a little further south than what was forecast yesterday, so that's a little better news for Taiwan. But by all means, we're still going to have extreme rainfall, extreme winds across this area, and eventually this will make its way towards coastal China, and it will bring some very heavy rain here in portions of eastern China here, even into parts of the mainland, with some very heavy rain, obviously some destructive winds. So this part of the world getting hit with some very strong, a very powerful storm over the coming days. Alright, here's the track of this thing, by the way, going through southern Taiwan and then eventually into parts of China. I wanted to show you the latest on the disturbance just east of Florida. Again, before I go here, you can see the X there just near, excuse me, near Daytona Beach. They're giving about a 40% chance of development throughout the next 48 hours, and also as we go throughout the next 5 days. They do mention, though, that it is very close to having organization required for a tropical cyclone, and advisories could be initiated later this afternoon. So that's something we'll be watching as we go forward. Later on today, we'll see if any advisories are issued for that area. And we're going to go to the models real quick and kind of show you what to expect over the next few days. Looking at the lower 48, we have that frontal boundary I was talking about here across the Midwest. Strong area of high pressure that will be coming in behind it and moving across the really across the U.S.-Canadian border over the next really 48 hours, bringing with us nice weather across the Great Lakes going into later on Wednesday and into Thursday. And then we'll see that front just kind of get shunted down to the south, pretty much lose itself. But then we'll see this next system coming in from the west behind that, and we'll see a better chance for showers and storms and even some severe weather across the Central Plains coming in on Thursday. And then as we go into Friday, that system pulls towards the Canadian-U.S. border up here in northern Minnesota. We'll have a front attached to that coming down here across the throughout the Midwest, and this will approach the Mississippi River Valley as well going forward. We could see a few severe storms in that area heading into Friday, and then the low pressure system pulls towards the here towards just north of the upper peninsula of Michigan here, heading into Saturday. It's really right over Lake Superior Saturday afternoon. Front attached to that, some showers and storms across the Ohio Valley, and then eventually we'll see some cooler, dry air vecting in behind that system. Going into early next week. Well, that'll wrap it up for this update. Again, thank you all for watching. I'm sorry the quality of the video is not great. Hopefully I can get my screen capture software back up and running again as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.